Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new here, I'm Katie and we're about to dive into another video where I help you step into your power and create the reality you desire on purpose. So in the last video, we talked a lot about how you don't have to change or fix or try to manipulate your past reality or what you've manifested up until this point, and you don't have to try to change or fix or heal the things in yourself in order to create the reality you do desire. And we just talked a lot about how that mindset and that approach actually can keep you stuck in that old energy longer, because what we focus on is what expands. And so the more that we are focusing on the areas of our life that didn't work out or that we want to change or that we feel like negatively about, then even though we think we're going in with the mindset of like, how can I fix this? How can I change it? We're still focused on a problem or an area that we don't feel good about. And so instead we talked about how you can start to shift to, instead of even needing to go into what was wrong, what was the problem, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be healed, what's wrong, you can just start to feel into, well, what do I want? And what feels really good? And placing your focus on what it is that you do desire, and realizing that in order to create the reality you desire, you don't have to fix or change anything that's happened up until this point. You just have to decide who you are in this moment and create from there, and allow that energy to be in your experience in this moment by you letting it in, you deciding this is who I am and I'm going to let this energy in now. And I'm not going to focus on that because the past isn't even real anymore. I have a whole other video as well on how the past isn't real. We don't need to reawaken the past. We don't need to dive into it and dissect it. The past isn't real. We manifest from the now moment. So anyways, in today's video, I want to talk about that a little bit further when it comes to how we can apply that same idea to like our own beliefs and the beliefs that we consider to be limiting beliefs, and how it's the same approach that, when you're trying to work through limiting beliefs or change limiting beliefs or release limiting beliefs, whatever you want to call it, it's the same process. It's the more that you are fixated and focused on, oh my gosh, what are these limiting beliefs that are coming up? And I'm having all these limiting beliefs. I notice that I'm stuck in my old story. I'm telling the old story. I'm feeling unworthy. Anytime these old limiting beliefs or limiting feelings come up, what we can do is, again, we can sometimes get stuck, and it feels a little different because it feels like it's different than when things are like outside of you, and like you can kind of like see and touch them, and it's like a physical experience, versus when it's in you. I think sometimes when it comes to our own thoughts and feelings, we can sometimes get like very stuck, especially if you're maybe like me and you tend to do a lot of this like inner reflection, inner work type thing. It's like we can sometimes actually get stuck in the energy of feeling like there's always more work to do, more healing to do, more reflection to do, rather than just seeing ourselves as like the perfect version of ourselves that we are and moving from that. And so when it comes to like having limiting beliefs pop up and wanting to understand, well, how can I work through them if they do come up? It's honestly, this is gonna, you know, maybe sound a bit off to some of you guys, and I recommend just sitting with it, but you don't have to fix or change them. You don't have to go back and try to get rid of them. They're not wrong. They're not bad. But when one comes up, if you don't like it, then the way that you can start to actually transform it is by just deciding on a new thought. So like, let's say, for example, and this happens to me a lot. Like I still have limiting beliefs pop up every single day, but what happens is now, instead of needing to like go into them and dissect them and try to figure out, well, why are they there? And why am I still thinking this? And like, oh my gosh, here I am in this negative pattern and da 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 da. It's instead, I just start to repeat or affirm the new thought to myself, the thing that does feel good, the thing that I do want. So let's say I'm having a thought or a feeling, or I'm just getting that sense of like I'm frustrated, or like something's not working for me, or it feels like things aren't necessarily going the way I want them to go. And it kind of has that feeling of being like hard. And I'm just getting that sense within me. Maybe I'm having a thought about something, or something happened that then I'm starting to feel that way. The second that I notice it, instead of trying to go in and try to like fix or change that thought or that feeling, or trying to say like, or even judging it and saying like this thought is wrong, or great, here I am in an old pattern again, or oh my gosh, I'm frustrated now, I'm going to manifest more of that. I don't go into any of that, and I really would recommend that instead you just start to choose a new thought. You don't have to waste your time or energy trying to fix the old thought or the old feeling or the old belief. That is just going to drain your energy. And again, think about the energy you're in when you're there. You're in an energy of like, this isn't right. Shouldn't be here. I need to change this. I need to fix this. And the version of yourself who's feeling fully satisfied, fully at ease, fully at peace, they're not feeling any of this over here. And so how do you think that this is going to manifest this? It's not, right? And they're not the same. They're not on the same wavelength. So they can't go together. One can't lead to the other. So in order to get this to lead to this, it's not that you're going to do anything to this. You're just going to let that go. It can exist in its own reality if it wants to, but it's not going to be your reality. So if you can start to think of your thoughts and feelings and emotions as like almost like a menu, choices that are placed in front of you. And it's like, okay, here's this feeling of like frustration and feeling like things are hard. Okay, that's one option on this menu. And there's another option over here that feels like ease. It feels like joy. It feels like bliss. I'm going to choose this option. It doesn't mean this option is wrong or bad. It doesn't mean I have to go and talk to the manager and get this option off the menu, or that I have to like try to find a way to like erase this forever. Because again, that's tiresome. That's going to take your energy. And that's, again, guess where your focus is now? It's like you're falling right into the trap, right? You're like, now your focus is over here and you're so focused on how can I get rid of this, that now over here is still here, but you're just like, you can't even get there because you're so focused over here. So instead, what you can do is the second that you notice those thoughts or feelings come up and you don't feel good and you don't like the way you feel and you don't like having those thoughts, then you just notice, okay, that's just an option on the menu. And you could be really gentle to yourself and say like, okay, you know what? Maybe I've chosen that option before. Maybe I grew up, seeing other people around me choose that option automatically. And so it kind of became a behavior, became a pattern. That's okay. However, I want to choose a new option. This option over here feels really good. So instead of needing to like fix or change it, or try to change the circumstance or the situation that like caused you to feel that way in the first place, and I'm saying caused in quotations because nothing can make us feel anything, right? It's all just our own perception and beliefs and how we interpret things that makes us feel certain ways. But you can just decide, okay, I'm just going to start to think these thoughts because they feel better. So let's say here I am and I'm having these thoughts of like, oh gosh, why is this so difficult? Or like, God, this is hard. And I'm realizing, wait a minute, I don't like this. I don't like the way that I'm feeling. Okay, I'm going to just start repeating, what do I want to feel like? What feels good? And I might start saying to myself, oh, why is everything so easy for me? Oh my gosh, this is like, everything is so easy. Life always goes my way. Everything is always working out for me. And what I would recommend, I think I've talked about this in another video as well, is keeping it general, because the more specific you get, that's often where then our mind jumps in with all these like, well, no, it doesn't always work out for you because this, and this, or like things aren't easy. Like, so just keep it really general. Because if you start to say like, well, things are always easy for me, and you give like specific examples of like, money's always easy, or relationship, then all of a sudden your mind might be like, well, money's not easy. Look at your bank account. Or no, relationships aren't easy. Look what happened over here. So I would just shut that down. Don't even let that have any space to come in by just saying, okay, what feels good to think about? Everything feels so easy for me. I love how things are always working out for me. And in the beginning, your mind might start to, like I said, it might start to argue this, but just keep practicing it, because you don't need any outside proof. Like, it's not like you're trying to look to your current reality to see like, okay, what can I pick at to show like, see, things do work out for me, or see, this is easy for me. We're not even going there, because this isn't about what something outside of you has done to give you validation to feel this way. This is about you choosing it for yourself and validating it to yourself, and then allowing the outside circumstances to reflect it back to you. So I wouldn't even try to find like examples. Like I know sometimes people might recommend, go out in nature and find things that make you feel abundant or beautiful or whatever. And it's like, I honestly don't even like that when you're in this phase of the process, because then I think it still teaches this idea that we need something outside of ourselves in order to feel a certain way. And I think that the most powerful thing we can do is release any control or power that we've given to the outside and just find it within ourselves. So when I'm repeating these to myself, I'm not looking for proof or validation for why I can feel this way. Like I'm not trying to like scan through my experiences or my reality to point to something, be like, okay, yeah, things are easy for me. Things are working out for me. Because I think that that still, at this point at least, gives power to the outside and says like, I need something on the outside to prove to me that I can feel this way. So what I do is I just say it and I find the feeling within myself and I just let myself feel it because it feels good to feel it. Not because anything has given me validation to feel that way, but just because I like that feeling and that's the feeling that I want to create more of and choose. And so in these moments, it's not about figuring out why you had the limiting beliefs, punishing yourself for having them, judging yourself for having them. I have a couple clients where this has been like a huge point of our one-on-one work, was to really help them work through the judgment they have when they have old patterns come up, old beliefs come up, and how they think that the more that they focus on, well, why did I have this? And I need to figure it out. And so I need to figure it out because if I figure that out, then it won't happen anymore. And we really had to work on this idea that the more that you fixate on it and try to figure it out, the more you're actually in that energy. And so in order to get out of that energy and move closer to the energy that you want to be in, you can't keep going back down here and trying to drag this along with you and figure it all out. You just leave it. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not wrong. You're not bad or wrong. You don't need to make it go away. You just are going to choose something different on the menu. And you're going to start to repeat that and visualize that and choose to feel that energy now in yourself. And you can go into your imagination and visualize that version of you, what it feels like, but know that that version of you isn't outside you. It's not something far away in the future. It's here with you in the now moment, or else you wouldn't be able to feel it. So I hope that this process was helpful for you when it comes to limiting beliefs. I think that it takes a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're like me and you're someone who maybe like your normal way of going about things would be to try to figure out what went wrong and try to dissect it, and maybe you even go into some judgment, or you start to feel anxiety when you notice it come up because, oh my gosh, is this what I'm manifesting? Da, 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 da. But it can really just feel like this relief. And like I said in the last video, like this weight off your shoulder when you realize, I don't have to go in there and do anything. I don't have to try to fix this. I don't have to figure out where it came from. I don't have to try to get in there and make sure it never happens again. Or like I said, erase it from the menu forever. I just have to choose another option. And every day I can continue to keep choosing. And when a limiting belief or a negative thought or something that I don't want comes up, it's okay. It's just an old pattern. I don't need to feel all this shame or frustration or anything about it. It's just an old pattern. And I can start to choose something different. So hope this was helpful. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you have any questions. What do you want more detail on? I love when you guys interact and, let me know what you're wanting more of. That excites me and makes me even more like fired up to just create more of these videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're wanting to work with me further, whether that be in the membership or one-on-one, the links are down below. Right now, there's a 14-day free trial for the membership, which is my monthly subscription platform. We do monthly energy healing calls, monthly live calls. There's a living library of guided meditations, affirmations, journal prompts, just lots of content in there for you to enjoy and tools for you to use as you're going along this, this journey. And then there's also the links for my one-on-one services. So single sessions, packages of sessions, and then the application for my longer term one-on-one kind of higher level program. So check those out if you're interested in working together more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.